Oh yeah, here's the Candace Owens interview.
Yeah, this is the Trump claps her back. Yeah.
Okay. Donald Trump, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. All 3 vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, JJ, are very good. The vaccines work. If you take the vaccine, you are protected. People aren't dying with the vaccine. This, unironically, is the... Unironically, you know what? Even though it took him long enough, okay? He finally did it. And I'm very happy he did it, okay?
He finally invested in Pfizer.
Well, the thing is, the problem is he can't take credit for it, making the vaccine if everybody thinks it's shit, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah, Natalie tweeted that he just became president, which is like kind of how I felt when I saw this. It's like, oh shit, he finally did something presidential. What the fuck?
He actually
it only
did something
took 5
good.
years.
I want to see Candace react to it.
Terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting.
By the way, the military argument's the dumbest shit in the world, because if you met anybody who's in the military, you are in the military, I know I have some like veteran viewers, they pump you full of so many fucking chemicals. You will just take vaccine after vaccine after vaccine. You just stop asking what the vaccines are even for. And so the idea that like a vaccine mandate in the military is ridiculous, when George Washington himself had inoculation as mandatory for the Continental Army. This is a tradition, right? Like, it's ridiculous. It just shows, I feel that people who are complaining about it just, you know, honestly, just crybabies. Like now, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Why complain about it now when you weren't even asking what was in the vaccines before?
I've been trying to figure this out because there's so many things become massive political issues now where I struggle to understand how a single person cares about it. Or like anywhere near the magnitude of how much they do. And like, I just feel like people need something to fight about. And they just kind of choose something. And that's like the fucking vaccine mandates. It's such an odd thing.
I wish we were back on war on Christmas. I wish that was the culture war. Yeah, at least nobody got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's really sad.
This vaccine, where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so...
You know what's so crazy, though? He downplayed COVID as a threat so much that it would be gone with the summer. And now, afterwards, now the vaccine's out and it's his thing and he now wants to take credit for it. Now it's like one of the most devastating things in the world that could have killed millions.
A lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months.
That pisses him off a lot, too, because some people want to say, well, this vaccine is actually garbage. Maybe the other 2 are okay. All of them are good. That's going to piss up some people. Also, him saying he came up with it's great. It's like Elon Musk saying he invented the Tesla. Like, no, you didn't really. I mean, people around you did.
But you mean that Trump didn't personally go into a lab, you know, and do biochemistry and come up with the vaccine?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
He had a beaker out. He had some beakers out. He was pouring liquids back and forth. He was doing, you know, he was doing the legwork on the vaccines.
Just imagine Trump in a lab coat holding a fucking beaker up to the light and looking into it.
Just like flicking it, making it go ding. Ah, looks good to me. Looks good to me.
Oh, let's get a second measurement to make sure.
Hey, did anybody want to peer review my research here? It's all on crayon.
5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones...
The immediate back down. Immediately.
The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for mom.
Ooh, she has to pivot. She pivots away. Okay, let's get out of the vaccine topic then. He was going. The thing is with Donald Trump, if you let him talk, he will talk, right? And you want to drag out an interview like this as long as you can, right? This is like, for Candace Owens, this might be the biggest interview of her career. Probably will be, right? And
Has to be.
Who
else is she going to interview?
Yeah, who else above this? Like literally nobody, right? So this is the biggest interview of her career, and she's cutting him off a lot here.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's a terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates.
It's almost like the kids can give other people COVID. Crazy. It's almost like kids have parents.
I mean, I'm sorry, on these masking mandates and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker.
Crazy.
I don't like to see.
There it is. Okay, there's the Trump we all know.
A radical masker?
No, a radical masker. What is a fucking radical masker? He's like going throughout the town like with a balaclava on. What's a radical masker?
You can see the political divide in this country because, people, Republicans always go mask off and Democrats get accused of being mask on.
Yeah, we keep our mask on. Yeah.
See the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
Well.
China.
Did you hear that? It looks like China. I've been to China. She made herself a resident expert on China because she was within the country. Brilliant. She's been to China, everyone.
And yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what?
By the way, China, let's talk about China's per capita death rate from COVID, where it originated, by the way, much lower than the United States. Wonder why that is. Yes, you can say you don't trust the numbers, but there's no evidence. You can't say that, but there's no evidence that it's anywhere near a per capita death rate. If there was, we'd see it touted about.
I think the initial was much worse, and then they clamped down on it hard. So
Yeah, and now is it?
probably not, because they clamped hard. Yeah.
Clamped hard. Now I can disagree with certain parts of that, like the rating of the whistleblowers and stuff like that, right? But it is also a test case of masks do work.
They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children, I mean,
No, it's bad.
the way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
What the fuck does that mean? It doesn't look like a free country if you have a kid wear a mask. Halloween is the day we give up our fucking freedom. What?
I'm against it.
Okay. Well, brilliant interview. I want to look at the quote tweets. Trump being the voice of reason here is hilarious. Politically, this is a mistake.
That was the funniest thing I saw a lot of people saying was what a political mistake it is from Trump to talk about the vaccines. And what's sad is that might be
look,
correct.
Gab retweeted it. You know, the fucking free speech website. Fun fact, I had a Gab account for a very short period of time, and Clint Eastwood followed me on.
Really?
Yeah. It was my proudest follow.
Oh my God.
Look at what they retweeted. Vlad, please just push the button. It's the only way. Gab is a Christian-owned, family-run technology company. I remember when originally it tried to, like, appeal to everyone. It's like, oh, we're just a free speech company. Now it's just completely fucking just left turn. Like, never mind. Oh, my goodness. But it's over, lol. 2024, no chance. Even if he wins the nomination, he's not winning the general with this garbage. Law? Wow.
So I'm curious, what do you think? Does Trump's vaccine comments actually hurt him politically?
It might with a certain part of his base, actually. But there's two things that could happen here. Number one, you're gonna have people like Rob Noor, for example, who, while I feel is not sensible in politics, is more sensible than, like, say, I don't know, like a QAnoner, right? Who's gonna be able to say, look at this, look, Trump, all you people saying Trump's anti-vaccine. No, he isn't. Look, he's pro it. He's actually trying to combat it. He's doing the thing he should do. Even though the second half of that was the exact opposite of what he should do. The first half is what he should be doing. Which is good because he's also bringing this to an audience with probably a skepticism of the vaccine. And if there's anybody they're going to trust on something like this that could possibly shake them out of it, it would be Donald Trump. Sebson, thanks for the tier 1.
Yeah.
So that's good. But there's going to be people who have dedicated themselves for the last year about being anti-vax that's going to think something happened to Trump. Somebody got to him. Or why are you doing this, Trumpy boy? and might not be as motivated to go out or as motivated to make Trump as big a part of their like ideology. Definitely since Trump has been like hitting on vaccines for like 6 years now. People forget in the 2015 primary, Trump was like pushing the idea that vaccines cause autism next to Ben Carson on the Republican presidential debate stage. People forget
Really?
that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I didn't remember that at all.
I mean,
What the fuck?
I've been following.
Pull that up. What the
Let me pull
fuck?
that up. Trump vaccines Republican debate. It's kind of hard to find because if you look up, here it is. It's only.
It's kind of hard to find it.
First result.
Pull it up
Sorry.
as you're saying it.
Sorry. Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, look. Now, if you watch this, it won't show you the whole thing, but you get the vibe.
Numerous studies, and they have not demonstrated that there's any correlation between vaccinations and autism. Vaccines are very important, certain ones, the ones that would prevent death or crippling. There are others, or a multitude of vaccines, which probably don't fit in that category, and there should be some discretion.
Autism has become an epidemic. 25 years ago, 35 years ago, you look at the statistics, not even close. I am totally in favor of vaccines, but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
Wait, what?
So he's pushing.
Vaccines don't work like that.
Yeah,
This is why Trump developed the Pfizer vaccine in 2 doses and then you booster.
That's
He had a
true.
plan all along.
There is this
That's
plan.
a good point. It's
But
the
where's
long-
this?
yeah,
What's
it's
this
the long
idea
game.
that autism has spy? Like, why bring that up here when the question is about vaccine? Why are you just like throwing it out there like there's some connection?
And you pump, I mean, it looks just like it's meant for a horse, not for a child.
What the fuck is he doing?
He was talking about his horse medicine as well. He was ready for this.
God, this was like anti-vaxxer foreplay from like 6 years ago. That was like the foundation for this shit.
2 years old, 2.5 years old, a child, a beautiful child, went to have the vaccine and came back and a week later got a tremendous fever, got very, very sick, now is autistic.
Oh my God.
What
I'm
the fuck?
surprised. How is this not more widely distributed? This is like one of the worst things I've ever seen him say, honestly.
Dude, because the problem is we couldn't sit there to reflect on the bad things he said because then a week later he'd just say another bad thing. This was constant. Was this the same debate where he went after Ted Cruz's wife? I forget. Like if you got to remember, this stuff was happening back to back to back to back. And so I remember this because it's kind of relevant considering like 5 years later, vaccines would become a massive political debate. But people forget that he laid the foundation for this. He did it. He laid the foundation. Even though what he's doing now is good, he still laid the foundation for this on the national stage.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the
well,
fuck?
to be fair, Crystal Moms did, and then he came in with the assist.
Yeah.
He's a mover and shaker. I agree, Joe. But damn. My goodness. Hey, Vosh had a comment about this. This is such a win-win-win for us. It hurts Trump popularity with the GOP, fractures the political base, and likely convinces at least a few holdouts to get vaccinated. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully he keeps it up. I mean, that is true. Do you agree with Vosh, Doomer?
Yeah, you could say Vosh is unironically based.
You know what could happen is 3 years from now, if he works and invests enough time in it, maybe he switches his base around and then he can take credit for it against Joe Biden. I mean, maybe. It's going to be a lot of work, though, if he's going to do it. And I don't know if he's going to be able to stay consistent on it because flip-flopping and Trump go hand in hand, and he's not really known for his consistency. Is he?
That's a bit of an understatement, yeah.
a bit of an understatement.
That's the problem with talking about the 2016 campaign is that people will be like, well, he said this crazy thing. And it's like, yeah, but he said the opposite of that crazy thing like 2 days before and 2 days after, right? So it's like, he would say, you take both sides of like most political issues. It's very hard to make any sense out of anything he said.
He was for the Iraq war, then he was against the Iraq war. He was for this, he just flipped. He was for the intervention in Libya, and now he goes against Obama for supporting. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I just got some stuff from r/Donald. If you look at this.
Ooh.
Trump, please shut the fuck up. Trump admits he
Oh yeah, I saw this. So good.
Trump admits he suddenly finds it very tough to slam Biden after surprising vaccine comments. What would happen if everyone started calling it the Trump injection? Trump's still pushing the vaccines in a Candace Owens interview. Heartbreaking. Trump, people are dying from the fake vaccine. Ever occur to your rich ass that nobody wants to be charged with assassinating a president, so they're not going to give you the same concoction they're giving the troublesome peasants? They switched out Trump's vaccine with a fake vaccine. Thought.
Man, that's some fucking high grade copium.
My God.
This is concentrated.
That's cocaine. That isn't copium. They're snorting.
Yeah, it's not even. Usually it goes through a mask, but they've got like an IV of coke. Just
they've got
going
an
directly
IV.
into the
They've got a
system.
mask. They have to take anal suppositories at this point. Not a comfortable way to live.
Yeah.